Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kruto Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmedi Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Chaitanyam Sarvagam Sarvam Sarvabhuta Guhashayam Yat Sarva Vishayatitam Tasmai Sarva Vide Namaha. Karma karyastva nityasya avidya kama karana pramanam veda evatra jnanasya digame smrutah jnanaika karya Jnanaikarthaparatvatam Vakyamekam tato viduhu Ekatvam hyatmano jneyam Vakyartha pratipattitah. Karma karya mokshastu anityasyat. Moksha, which is karma karya, which is the result of karma, accomplished by an effort. Anityasyat, whatever is accomplished, attained, created by karma is impermanent. Because karma, which is cause, is impermanent. Therefore, the karma karya, the effect of karma is impermanent. If according to you, moksha is karma karya, moksha is something which can be attained by karma, it would be impermanent, then it can't be called moksha. Pramanam vedevatra, that the outcome of karma is impermanent, that the Veda itself says in so many words, tadyathaya karma jito loka kshiyate evamutra punyajito loka kshiyate. Just as here in this world, the loka, the attainment by karma, kshiyate, gets exhausted, is impermanent, perishable. So also, what is attained in heaven by punya also is perishable. Meaning karma karya anityasyat veda evatra pramanam. For that Veda itself is pramanam. Apart from nyaya, that yat kritakam tad anityam, jnanasya adhigame smrutah. So then, what is it that Veda is pramanam for? That karma karya is anityam, karma karyam. Then Vedanta is pramanam for moksha, jnanasya adhigame smrutah. So Jnana Sadhyam. What is Nityam? Karma Sadhyam Anityam. Jnana Sadhyam Nityam. Now Jnana Sadhyam means that which is attained by Jnanam. Nothing can be attained by Jnanam. All that Jnanam can do is to dispel Ajnanam, ignorance. Just all that light can do is to dispel darkness. Light cannot create anything. And still, if something is accomplished by Jnanam, then Jnana Gamyam, Jnana Sadhyam, what is Sadhyam? Becoming Jnanam. If there is something, it has to be already accomplished. So then only Sadhyam can be Nityam. Something is Sadhyam attained also, and still Nityam, it is still permanent. It can be only when it looks like it is Sadhyam, in fact it is not Sadhyam. It is already Nitya Sadhyam, already accomplished. Ajnanam creates the notion of an accomplishment of what is already accomplished. Vidvadmi Srutam. And therefore, so Veda is a pramanam with reference to moksha, which is jnanagamya. For that, Veda is a pramanam, is what the so vidvadbihi smrutaha. Jnanasya adhigame smrutaha. Jnanasya vivekasya adhigame pramanam. Veda iti smrutaha vidvadbihi. Veda is a, what purpose Veda serve? The purpose of Veda is only to impart knowledge. Purpose of Veda is moksha. But then how does Veda expound moksha, delineate moksha, teach us how moksha is to be attained? Veda says moksha is attained by jnanam. So this is the Tatparya Nishchaya. Vedanta says that the agenda or the purpose of the Veda is, of course, moksha that is accepted. What kind of moksha? Moksha that is attained by jnanam is what is the primary teaching of Veda. Also, whether Veda is one text, one prakaranam or two prakaranam, meaning that Veda, does it consist of two independent sections, namely Karma Kanda and Jnana Kanda? Each one has a different Anubandha Chatushtaya? Or is it one text? Vedasya sarvasya adhyayana upapadiyatvat. Veda, the entire Veda is swadhyaya adhyayatavya. That one should study the Veda, that includes, that Vidhi includes the entire Veda. Karma Kanda as well as Jnana Kanda, Upasana, everything is included in that Vidhi. So one Vidhi can only tell you to do one thing. One instruction cannot tell you to do more than one thing, because then you will not know what is communicated, what I am told. This kind of vidhi can be there provided Veda is one text, not more than one text. Apurusharade parivasana ayogat. And when vidhi or when Veda enjoins something, the purpose must be that what you do as a result of our instruction must accomplish a purushartha. Therefore, the purpose of enjoining the study of Veda is for the one who studies to gain moksha. Panupurushartha parivasanaya. In that this vidhi becomes meaningful, purposeful, serves the purpose that a vidhi is supposed to serve, namely help this person attain Paramapurushartha, it can be only when this Vidhi tells you one thing, then Aikya Jnana Paratvam Eshtavyam. Then Veda seems to teach karma also, Veda seems to teach jnana also. So Upanishad teaches Aikya Jnanam, the Aikya, the identity of Atma and Brahma, and that is what accomplishes moksha. Therefore, the Aikya Jnanam is the primary agenda of Veda. Tato na karmasu tasya mahatatparyam. Karma also serves the purpose. But then Veda doesn't have mahatatparyam. The ultimate tatparya or the purport of Veda is not karma, is in Aikya Jnana. Not only Jnanam, Aikya Jnanam is mahatatparya of Veda. This is what we derive from this Vidhi. See, this is a very interesting thing. Swadhyayo adhyetavya. Swadhyaya, Veda must be studied. This is Vidhi. This Vidhi can be purposeful, fruitful, only when it serves the purpose of the one to whom this instruction is given, enjoyment is given. His purpose is moksha. Therefore, this Vidhi, the fulfillment of the Vidhi should accomplish the goal, namely moksha. In that case, the Veda must only be doing one thing to accomplish moksha. And that Veda teaches Aikya Jnanam, so Aikya Jnanam is means of moksha, that must be the purpose of Veda, and purpose is Vidhi. That Mahatatparya. There cannot be more than one Tatparya in one Vidhi. One Vidhi must be to do one thing with one purpose. Therefore, when the person starts studying Veda, he must have in his mind what it is that he seeks to accomplish. Keeping that in mind, he studies and he does what is required to be done. As a result of which he accomplishes that. And therefore, Jnānika taparatvat Vedasya. Therefore, Veda has a Mahatatparya. In Jnana, Ekasaparatvat, only Jnanam, the Aikya Jnanam is the Tatparya of Veda. Tam Vakyam Ekam Tato Viduhu. Therefore, the wise people say that Veda is one continuous text and not a text consisting of two independent sections of karma and jnanam. That would be so if karma accomplished one thing and jnana accomplished something else, then you would say that there are two independent chapters. But then both of them accomplish one thing only. Ekatvam hyatmanognyam vakyasa pratipattitaha. And what is the primary vakya of Veda? Tattvamasi Mahavakya. There are Avantar Vakyas which are supporting the Tattvamasi requires me to understand what Tat is, what Tvam is, what Asi is. So there are statements of Veda which teach us what Tat is, like Satyam Jnanavanandam, what Tvam is, what Asi is. Avantar Vakya. But the Mahavakya, which is where the Tatparya is this Aikya Jnanam. Then what's the role of karma? Karma, because it is taught by Veda, must serve the purpose of Jnanam. By creating Antahakana Shuddhi, it becomes a means of Jnanam. That's how the entire Veda is one text serving one purpose. Now continuing with the verse number 10. Nanu Atmana. So, Atmana Brahmikatvam Jnayam. The Atma is Brahman, that identity is to be known. This is what the primary purpose of Veda is. Alright. See, one by one is covering ground, the teacher. So now it is established that the purpose of Veda is to teach the identity of Atma and Brahma. Because that knowledge is the means of moksha, which is the Parama Purushartha. Now accepting that, no, Atmana Brahmanasya Ekatva Jnana Anupannam, but that is not possible. Even if Veda says Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi, I am Atma, Brahma, Veda says that. And according to you, by Mimamsa, meaning by the analysis of the statements and then also Tatpara Nirnaya is there, links by Shadlinga, Upakarma Samhara, etc. You arrive at the conclusion that Tatparya of the Veda, Lingam Tatparya Nirnaya. The Tatparya of the Veda is in teaching or revealing the Brahmatmikatvam or identity of Brahman Atma. But then is it, even if Veda says that, we don't think it is possible. Just because Veda says something doesn't make it right. It must also follow reasoning. Nanu Atmana Brahmanasya Ekatva Jnana Anupapannam, untenable, not in keeping with reason. Brahmana Atmana Brahmanasya, of Atma and Brahma, Ekatva Jnanam, the knowledge of identity of Atma and Brahma, is untenable, meaning that is not in keeping with reasoning. Why? Tayoho aparyaya sabdavacyatvena bhedat. Both the word Atma means one thing, word Brahma means something else. Aparyaya sabdatvat. Paryaya sabda, synonyms. Sabdas are many, meaning is one, that's called synonym. Like Jalam, Udakam, Toyam. All of these words have one meaning, namely water. Even the words are different, the meaning is one. They call Paryasa, synonyms of Paryaya Sabda. But Ghata, Pata, Matha. So here, the Toyam, Jalam, the words are different but meaning is one, therefore they are called synonyms. But Ghata, Pata, Matha, the words are different, meanings are also different, therefore they are not synonyms. So Atma is one word, Brahma is another word, and meanings are also different. Atma is the individual self, Brahman is the universal self. Jagat Karanam, cause of creation. So words are different, meanings are also different, therefore Atma and Brahma are not Paryaya Sabda, they are not synonyms. Not synonyms, how can they convey the same meaning? Synonyms can convey the same meaning. Toyam, Jalam, Udakam, these synonyms, even though the words are different, convey the same meaning. But not Ghata, Pata, Matha, because each one has a different meaning, they do not convey the same meaning. So Atma and Brahma also are different words. They use for different entities in the Vyavahara also. You don't call this Atma. It's Ghata. Atma is I. And Brahman is that. Aham and Brahma is Tat. Therefore, Bhedat, Atma and Brahma are not synonyms, meaning they are known to convey different meanings. And therefore, they are different. What Atma means is one thing, what Brahma means is another thing. Therefore, the meanings are different, the entities are different. Therefore, even if Veda says Atma is Brahma, that cannot make it one. Because these two different entities are there. So, aparyaya sabdavacyatvena bhedat. Atma and Brahma are vachya, are the meanings of word aparyaya, not synonyms. Therefore, the meanings are different, the entities are different. Ityasankya. So now we are coming to, we accepted that the purpose of Veda is to teach Brahmatmaikyam. Then the question is it tenable? Does it make sense that Brahma and Atma are one? So they cannot be one because Brahma and Atma are not Pariya Shabda. Ma evam says no. Now the thing is, when two words convey different things, like Ghata is one thing, Pata is another thing. So words are different, meanings are, the entities are different, therefore they are different. There is Dvaita or Bheda, duality between them. So now this basic question is that what we experience is duality. Is it so? That Ghata means one thing, Pata means something different from what Ghata means. Is that so? Anyonya ashayapatte. How do we say that the different words convey different entities? How do they Ghata and Pata are different? Ghata is different, one entity, Pata is different. So anyonya ashayapatte. He says to establish that Ghata means one thing, Pata means something else. There was a Dvaita, duality between them. That conclusion is based on an assumption. That what Ghata means is one thing, Pata means another thing. That conclusion is based on assumption that Ghata is different and Pata is different. First you accept that there are two different entities and then you think that they mean different entities, they are different. So because words are different, therefore meanings are different. Because meanings are different, therefore words are different. So which one comes first? Words are different, so meanings are different. How do you say words are different? Because meanings are different. Words are different because meanings are different. But how do you say, because meanings are different, so meanings are different because words are different, words are different, meanings are different. See, between Toyam and Udakam, even the words are different, meanings are not different. But Ghata Pata, you presume that what is Ghata is not Pata. Therefore, Ghata Pata have different meanings. But Ghata is one word, Pata is one word, words are different, so meanings are different. How do you say different? Because the meanings are different. So first you assume meanings are different, then words are different. But because words are different, therefore meanings are different. We have to look into this. We assume first that Ghata and Pata mean different things, therefore these two words are different. And two words are different because the meanings are different. See, that does not mean Toyam and Udakam, etc. Words are different, but meanings are not. These two words don't convey different things. How come Ghata Pata convey different things? Because Ghata is one thing, Pata is different thing. So two things are different, I already assume, therefore the words are different. And words are different, therefore the meanings are different. Otherwise, how do you say that Ghata and Pata are different words? So obvious, Ghata is one thing, Pata is different thing. How do you say that? Because Ghata is different and Pata is different. So that Ghata means something and Pata means something else is because words are different. Therefore meaning, but how do you say words? Because the meanings are different, therefore words are different. And words are different because meanings are different. So difference in words takes for granted difference in meanings, and different meanings takes for granted difference in words. See, this is what is happening here. So we automatically assume that I am encountering different entities. This entity is different, this is different, this is different. Why? Because this is a woman, this is a man, this is that. This name, this form, this name form is different, that name form is different, this name form is different. So name and form and function, this is name, form and function, name, form, function, they are all different, therefore entities are different. But entities are different, therefore name, form, function are different, or they are different because this is different. If you look into that, the conclusion that entities are different is based on our assumption that meanings are different, and conclusion the meanings are different based on assumption that the entities are different. It's called Anyonyashraya. You cannot independently arrive at saying that this is one thing and another thing. You already given this, you already call it Ghata and then Pata, and then say that they are different. Why don't you say this is also Ghata and that is also Ghata? No, they are different. So you give different names because you assume that these two are different entities. And because they are different, therefore when the word Ghata is uttered, it creates one Pratyaya, cognition. Word Pata creates another Pratyaya. So Pratyaya are different, so words are different. And words are different because Pratyayas are different. Anyonyashraya. Therefore, the next verse says, this is very subtle, but this is how the whole idea of Bheda or duality is dismissed here. You've taken for granted that things are different, therefore you're looking at that way. Words have a tremendous impact on our mind. That's called Shakti, the words of powers to create the meanings. There are different words create different meanings, so we think that the meanings are different because words are different. But words are different because meanings are different. So the 10th verse says, Vachya bhedatu tad bhedah kalpyo vachyo vitachute Trayam tve tattatah proktam Rupam nama cha karma cha. Anyway, so Vachya bhedatu tad bheda kalpya Vachya bhi tat shrutehe. This is what we said is what he said in the first line here. So Vachya bheda tad bheda. Vachya bheda, because of bheda or different in Vachya, tad bheda, there is difference in tat. So what is that? Tad bheda. Apaya shabda bheda. So Ghata and Pata are not aparyaya. They are not synonyms. So tad bheda. The bheda, the difference in the meaning between the word Ghata and Pata. What Ghata stands for is one thing, what Pata stands for is a different thing. That conclusion requires Vachya bhedat kalpya, because Ghata is one word and Pata is one word, therefore what they mean must be different. Because Ghata and Pata are different words, therefore in our mind already, because the words are different, therefore the meaning must be, otherwise you can't use different words. Fact that you are using different words means the meaning must be different. So tad bheda, shabda bheda, the words are different, Ghatapata, is because what they mean is different. Vachya bhedat kalpya. The difference in the words is kalpya, is imagined because Vachya, the meanings are different, or meanings are thought to be different. So yeah, understand that's what you're doing. Vachyo vi tachsrutehe aparyasave shravanat bhinna. And also that the meaning is different because the words are different. Words are different because, so words are different, tad bheda, because the meanings are different. But then how to say meanings are different? Because the Vachya, the words are different. Vachyopi tachsrutehe aparyaya shabda bheda shravanat. Tachsrutehe by shravanat, by listening. When these two words are uttered, Ghata and Pata, you hear them. Therefore Vachya, what they mean is different because the words are different. But how did you say words are different? Because meanings are different, because Ghata is, I know what Ghata is, what a Pata is. So in my mind already there is conclusion what Ghata and Pata. So when you utter these words, meanings are different. Why are meanings different? Because the words are different, otherwise you would not have used different words. Tatha cha siddhe, what similarly, Atma, Jiva is one word, Brahma is different word, Jiva Brahma Aikya is what Upanishad is teaching, but Jiva creates in you one concept. Brahma word creates different concepts. Concepts are different, therefore they are different. Jiva words are different, therefore the meanings are different. Meanings are different because words are different. That means we have not analyzed further our conclusions. Jiva means I know what it is. Brahma means I know what it is. They are different because words are different and meanings are different. Meanings are different, words are different. That's how our whole life is going on. Tadvachaka shabdayoho aparyayatva siddhi. That Vachya Jiva Brahma Veda, the word Brahma and Jiva Vachya, what the meanings are, because they are different, therefore the words Jiva and Brahma are different. Tat Siddha Vitara Siddhi, because words are different, therefore meaning must be different. Because meanings are different, therefore words are different. The reason why different words Jiva and Brahma are used, because the meanings are different. Reason why the meanings were Jiva Brahma refers to different words are used. Suppose we start out saying Brahma, hey Brahma. So I use one word Brahma for everything. I mean, I use the word bangle for this one, chain for this one, earring for different. Words are different. So meanings must be different. And meanings are different. Meaning is this. Form is different, so names are different. Names are different, so forms are different. Otherwise you would not give different names. Why do you call the earring and chain and bangle? So because the meaning must be different. And meanings are different because you are different using different words. So Nama, Rupa and Karma. An entity is distinguished by name, form and function. Earring is one name, form, one function. Bangle is one name, one form, one function. That is how entities are different. But are they different? What do they mean? Does the word bangle only culminate into this form, or does it have something more? What should the meaning of the word bangle? Just a form bangle or the gold? What should the meaning of the word earring? Just form earring or gold? So even though the entities are one, for the sake of Vyavahara, we have chosen to give them different names so that we can, communicate. Otherwise, please bring a bangle. What will you bring? If I say bring gold, we don't know what to bring. In order to facilitate this transaction of our life, we have given different words to what we think are different entities, and then we think they are different entities because we have given different words or names to them. So forms are different because names are different. But names are different because, so which different comes first? Each one, forms are different, we believe, because names are different. Names are different, we believe, because forms are different. Without realizing that in ultimate thing, there is only one thing, gold, one thing, only Brahman. Vedantin does not accept any substance other than Brahman. Everything else superimposed, projection. Like this is only gold. Bangleness is projected, earringness is projected, chainness is projected. Whole Vyavahara is projected, Jagat is projected, and that is all right for Vyavahara. But what substance is only one. Now, it is one thing to use the words that are different, recognizing the meaning is one, then it's okay. Otherwise, I hate one and I love another one. Because bangle means one thing altogether different from what chain means, therefore, there are two different entities, therefore I will have one feeling for one and the feeling for something else. How this samskara of taking the entities are different because words are different, rupa are different, nama are different, and nama is because rupa is different, how it ingrained in us, how therefore we treat each one as different. and excluding each other. That different excluding. That when I use the word bangle, it means one thing, hearing another word, then I take for granted that bangle excludes earring excludes bangle. So the exclusion is called Dvaita. Two does is not called Dvaita. And so this Dvaita, is it a reality or kalpyaha? Is it an assumption? So this is called itara itara. First you assume that things are different, therefore you give different names. And then because names are different, therefore entities are different. Therefore, is anyonya ashraya syat. That's called anyonya ashraya. Mutual dependence. Meaning the arrival of one conclusion presupposes another conclusion, and that conclusion presupposes this conclusion. Where is your friend's home? In front of a temple. Where is the temple? In front of my friend's home. Suppose somebody trusts me this, how am I going to find that place? To find the temple, I must know where his home is. To find his home, I should know where the temple is. Anyonyasa, which means you arrive at nothing. It doesn't convey. There cannot be any conclusion. That's how Vedanta says whole life is. Whole vyavahara is like this. Swarupatah vedakalpanayam pramana bhavat. That Swarupatah, Namatah, Rupatah, Karyatah, in Nama, Rupa, Kriya, that there is Veda, or apparent difference. But Swarupatah, what essentially that entity is, that they are different. What is the pramanam? Swarupatah Veda Kalpanayam Pramana Abhavadati Bhavaha. The Vyavaharika Veda we accept. But Swarupatah Veda, the Vyavaharika Veda is taken for granted as Swarupa Veda. The Vyavaharika Veda is not a problem in our life. Swarupatah Veda is the problem. I am one entity and you are a different entity. I exclude you, you exclude me. That's Swarupatah Veda. That I am one Vesha, you are another Vesha. There is one actor taking all the Vesha. Swarupatah, one actor is there in various roles, no problem. So many reflections are there in the mirror that there is an apparent difference there at the superficial level. Swarupatah Veda is not there. So I can deal with that reflection properly. I can do all these things that is required. Use the reflection as a means of vyavahara. Recognizing that when I am doing this tilakam, I am doing it on myself, not on someone else. When I do it, I do the puja, then I know I am doing it on someone else. It conveys a different thing in my mind as compared to when I do this in mirror to myself, isn't it? When I do tilak to myself, one feeling, to you, different feeling. I am blessing you, depends on what role I have, or I am worshipping you. And then that would now is one sentiment and one thing, so that is how rest of the feelings and vyavaharas they all take place. Swarupatah Veda Kalpanayam Pramana Abhavat. That Ghata and Pata Swarupatah. That name is different, form is different, Kriya is different. But that means that entities are entirely different. The substance of which Ghata is made and substance which Pata is made are different. There is no proof or there is no pramanam. You superficially taken for granted and believe that Swarupa also is different. That Atma and Jiva is one, Brahma is one word, and we are using that word Jiva and Brahma for different purposes. So taken for granted that is Swarupatah Veda. Vyavaharika Veda is one thing, Swarupatah. So Vyavaharika Bheda, if it is clear to us, doesn't cause any problem. Now I know Bengal, that Swarupatah Bheda is not there. But suppose you slip in one silver bangle in there, then wait a minute, why do you give me this? So my objection comes when it says Swarupatah Bheda. I gave you gold, why are you returning this to me? So Tika says Bhedasya Apramanikatvat Ekatva Jnanam Upannam. Bhedasya Apramanikatvat, because Bheda, duality, division has no pramanam, meaning that it cannot be established or proven by any valid means. No valid means. Oh, I see all Bheda. What do you see? I see that bangle is different and earring is different. Do you really see that? You say, one name and form are different, substance are different. I see that he is different, I am different. Oh, that body is different, this body is different. Consciousness that body reflects, manifests, is it different this consciousness? But the duality of the body, the name and form and function is assumed to be duality in Swarupa. And that is called samsara, that causes all the conflicts and all the dukkha. And that is called samsara. And Vedanta provides solution to that fundamental problem. Vedasya apramanikatvat ekatva jnanam upannamiti yukte. So Vedanta then proved Vedasya pramanikatvat. You know pramanam, no valid means to establish that the entities that you think are different, essentially different. Superficially different, that essentially they are different, there is no pramanam. Do not analyze what is the essence of ghata and pata. Superficially different, essentially they are not different. So because superficially the essence must be different, essence is different, therefore superficially different. You are different, I am different, therefore your Swarupa is different, because my Swarupa is different, therefore we are different. But there is no pramanam to establish the essential duality. Says then, now there are some statements in the Vedas that seem to indicate that. Dva Suparna, the way that duality is always present this. Dva Suparna, Sayuja, Sakhaya. See, there are two birds different from each other. That shows there is duality. Tayoranya Abhichakasit ev Tayoranya Pipalam Swadvati. One of them keeps on experiencing different fruits, other one just sits there and blesses. Two different birds, different birds. So since birds are different, but essentially they are different, but their names and forms and functions are different. But these two birds are Swarupa, essentially different. Where is the proof of that? He says, Sayuja, Sakhaya, that Swarupatah Aikya is there is indicated by Dva Suparna. That Dva is said. Sayuja, Sakhaya, they are always joined, always equal in manifestation. Upanishad makes it a point to say that yes, there seems to be a difference in the two, but in fact, they are the two different entities cannot always be united. If two birds were different, the Sayuja, they are all joined with each other, they are always together, they cannot be. In Samana Khyati appearance, everywhere, they cannot be if the entities two different. So two are also stated because that's what we think, and one is stated because that's what it is. So Vedanta does not dismiss duality. Vedanta explains duality. For explaining duality, which we have taken for granted, two birds are stated. For revealing the fact that essentially they are one, they say that they are always together. They all look together, they look the same. But now look at them properly. That are they really different? Or they are doing different things? One is called Jiva, so Ishvara. Name is different, Nam is different, Rupa is different, Karma is different. Nam, Rupa, Karma are different, but then essentially are they different? So now when we said that you cannot establish Swarupa, the essential difference between the two, says, well, Upanishad says, Veda apramanikat ekatva jnanam upannamidiyukte Vedasyavi pramana siddhatvam. So we said Veda cannot be established by any pramana. So Upanishad itself is pramana. Purvavadi shankate. So second line of this verse is the Purva Paksha. Trayam tvetat tatah proktam rupam nama cha karma cha. So this statement is quoted from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Trayam va idam nama rupam karma iti shrutya. Shruti says, Trayam va idam, this is threefold. Nama, rupam, karma. That every entity has its own name, form and karma and function. Tataha atma atiriktam. So therefore, idam, all of this is what? Nature of name and form and function. And so, this aham, idam is different and aham is different. Therefore, atmana atiriktam rupam namacha karmacha proktam. Itself says all of this is name, form and function. And so, who says that they are different from Atma? Upanishad itself seems to say that this universe consisting of name, form and function is different from Atma. Ataha anekatvam eva vedartha. So ekatvam is not Vedartha, anekatva is Vedartha, meaning the Veda does not convey ekatvam. Veda conveys anekatvam, because look at this statement. So is this statement now is the Vedartha or Tattvamasi is Vedartha? So there are statements which seem to convey non-duality, but there are statements also which seem to convey duality. No, Veda is pramanam. You say that Swarupataha Vedasya apramana siddha nasti. Veda is pramanam, and Veda is talking about the duality. Now there are two kinds of statements in the Vedas, revealing non-duality and duality. So which is pramanam? We said that statements revealing duality is pramanam. That's all the schools of duality are based on these statements. Even though already Bhashyaka Shankaracharya established that Tattvamasi is a Veda Tattvaryam, and this has been vehemently dismissed and contested. And Ramanujacharya used so much of his strong logic to dismiss what Shankaracharya stated. He doesn't want to stay, he just wants to convey something that, look, this is the noble way. Most noble is non-duality. The most noble vision in the universe, there cannot be more noble thing in saying that you and I are one. There cannot be more noble thing than that. Why don't you prove duality? But they want to. Jiva, I am different, Ishvara is different. And so for that they take this kind of statements. Vasuparna savya sakhaya yatha sudiptat pavakat visfulingaha. So therefore the part and whole, shesha sheshi. So different kind. That's how you take a statement and then arrive at the whole philosophy. Siddhanti dushayati. Now the dushanam has to go to the next verse. So we have to read the first line of the next verse. The next verse we read 11th verse. Asade tatrayam tasma anyonyena hi kalpitam kruto varno yatha shabdad shruto nyatra dhiya bahi. Asadetatrayam Nama, Rupa, Karma, and the Veda says that is Idam, this one here, and therefore it stands apart from Atma. But what is the reality of Idam? Etatrayam asat. All of these three are asat, they are mithya. Their appearances are not a reality. Tasmat anyonyeni kalpitam. Why do you say the mithya? Because one nama is kalpitam because of rupa. This is a given name Ghata because it is rupa, and then it is rupa because it is nama. One moment the name is uttered, rupa comes. Rupa comes, the nama comes. And then function also comes. Therefore, first name comes, or form comes, or function comes. Because function is different, therefore the form is different. And because form is different, therefore name is different. Because name is different, therefore form is different. We cannot establish the difference between nama and rupa because they always go together. There cannot be nama, ghata or word without the form ghata. In our mind there cannot be form ghata without the nama ghata. When two entities always coexist and they exist together, they cannot be two different things. So therefore, you believe that name is different, form is different, therefore one name is different, therefore other form, therefore the two forms are different because two names are different. Anyonye tad bheda kalpyaha vachyavi tat shrutehe. Therefore vachya bheda tad bheda kalpya, because vachya is different. Ghata, nama, rupa and karma, these words are different, the meanings are different. Because meanings are different, the words are different. Therefore, these three entities are different from Atma is depending upon taking difference for granted because they are mithya. Nama, if you can stand on its own without rupa, then you call it satya. What is satya? That which is independent reality. But nama cannot be there without the concept of rupa. And rupa cannot be there without concept of nama. And they cannot be there without the concept of function. And function cannot be there without the name and form. Vachya bheda tad bheda kalpya, vachya bhi tat shrutehe. So nama bheda rupa bheda nama bheda kalpya. Because they occur together, but still you take them to be different. Therefore, just because Shruti uses three words, they are all projected by each other. The name is projected by Rupa, Rupa is projected by Nama. Therefore, this is Mithya, and Mithya cannot count as separate from Atma. So therefore, so astadetatrayam tasmat anyonyena hi kalpitam. Anyena kalpita, one is kalpita, nama is kalpita by rupa. Rupa is kalpita by nama. Kara, and then kriya is kalpita by nama rupa. Each one is imagined by the other. Meaning that each one requires the other one. Function cannot be unless nama rupa is there. And nama rupa are different because the functions are different. See, between Jalam and Toyam, even though names are different, you don't call them two because the Rupa is not different. Function is not different. So difference presupposes. Difference in Nama presupposes different in Rupa or Kriya. So all of these are imagined by each other. Each one depends on the other two for being there, and therefore anyonyena hi kalpitam. Siddhanti dushayati asat etata. This now rupa karma or kriya is asat. Why is it so? Because yasmat Edatrayam anyonyena kalpitam. Because these three are imagined by each other, projected by each other. Because nama for you to understand requires rupa and kriya. Kriya requires for you to have nama and rupa. Rupa requires nama and kriya. One requires the other two in order to be there. Therefore, they are always together, projected by each other. Anyonya sapeksha siddhikam. What is meant by project by each other means that each one requires the other two. Nama requires in your mind the rupa. For you to make any sense out of nama, you must imagine rupa. To make sense of rupa, you must imagine nama. Anyonya sapeksha siddhikam. Nama independently cannot be established. Ghata. In your mind also. Ghata creates a concept of the object ghata. Without that, the word ghata, cannot give you meaning. Without meaning, the word cannot be. Without the word, the meaning cannot be. So, anyonya sapeksha. Tasmat asati dhanvaya. Therefore, even though the Shruti talks about idam trayam vaidam, nama rupam karma, this nama rupa karma is asat or mithya because anyonya sapeksha. Therefore, it is projected. It is projection. Anyonya ashraya grastata bhedasya paramatam ashakyata. Bhedasya is bheda of the duality. It requires anyonya ashraya. Duality must be taken first to say that duality is real. Duality must be given reality to say that it is. Pramatam ashakyataya. Therefore, there is no way to arrive at the understanding of what Bheda means. Pramanikatva abhava. There is no pramanikatvam. Neither Veda is pramanam for that, nor logic or anything is pramanam. If Yavan is pramanam, Swamiji, I use ghata for filling water. I use this cloth for covering my body. So they are different because functions are different. Names are different, forms are different, functions are different. You just tell me ghata without imagining the form. What covers a body? The cloth. So cloth is required for its function to cover the body. For functioning cover the body, the cloth is required. I call it cloth because it covers that's called vastram. Achadana. Because it covers my body. Therefore I call it vastram. Because vastra, therefore I project. It covers my body. But why do you call it? Because it covers the body, therefore it's called vastram. You call it vastram because it covers the body. It covers the body because it is called vastram. So Swami, what is the problem? The problem is philosophical problem here that how do you say this is called vastram because of the function of covering the body? But you say it is vastram, therefore the notion of covering the body comes because it is vastram, and notion of vastra comes because it covers the body, but independently. You cannot mean vastra cannot be a word independent without the meaning of covering the body. Vas achadane. And it cannot perform the function of covering the body unless it is assumed to be vastram. Because if it is part, you don't imagine covering the body. You imagine something else. So, anyonya ashraya grastataya. This word nama presupposes rupa and kriya. Rupa presupposes nama and kriya. Kriya presupposes nama and rupa. Anyonya ashraya grastata. Because they are held by, they are covered by, they are controlled by being dependent upon the other two. Bhedasya pramatam ashakyataya. Therefore, nama is one thing, rupa is different thing, kriya is different thing. That bheda you cannot arrive at unless you presuppose that. So that bheda, pramatmam, you cannot in fact perceive that bheda. If you examine Nama without the Rupa, then Nama is only Brahman. Rupa without Nama, for any instant independently, it has to be only Sat. And they need something else or Asat. So, moment I think of Nama, if Rupa goes along with that, Nama becomes. So, Nama to be Sat has to be independent, then Rupa cannot be there, then Nama also cannot be there. All that can be Sat. So, Bhedasya Pramadam, you cannot perceive Bheda. You cannot perceive duality at all. By perceive, I don't mean by eyes, in your understanding. Pramanikatva bhava, therefore, there is no pramanikatvam, no authenticity, or no reality as far as Bheda is concerned. Then why does Shruti says Nama, Rupa, Kriya? Why they talk of two birds? Yatha kathanchit loka siddho mithya bheda shrutya anudyate. Because loka siddho mithya bheda, people have taken for granted that the bheda is there. So what the Shruti does is just only anudyate, it reiterates, gives an example to make you see that there is no bheda. So therefore that's called anuvada. Or what is taken for granted by people, that bheda, anudyate, is reiterated into birds, in the fire and sparks, in nam rupa karma. Because somehow people have taken for believe that nama is one, rupa is one, kriya is one. So in order to make them see that they are not different, you start with what they understand and then give them the right understanding. To give the right understanding, you start with what the current understanding is. And current understanding is Bheda. So yatha kathanjit loka siddho mithya bheda. Even though Bheda is mithya, loka is taken it to be real, therefore yatha. How then? Without thinking. Yatha kathanjit. Avichara siddha samsa. Without thinking, people are taken for granted this Bheda. Shrutya anudyate. Therefore, Shruti reiterates for kevalam vairagya, to recognize, to see that this is mithya. Don't give it reality. Don't add too much importance to it. Otherwise, you will derive, because that deprives you of non-duality. Any kind of reality given to Bheda is at the cost of the Abheda, unfortunately. Because they cannot coexist. Vairagya, kevalam vairagya. This is all for vairagya. And the whole life keeps on giving slap one after the for vairagya. Not for crying and weeping and all the time, A slap comes, oh, that's for vairagya. Rama has given me a slap. That's how Ramadas would say, Oh, this is Rama's sankalpa. But we keep on crying and weeping all the time, giving reality. The world also wants, the Bhagavan wants us to understand. Every time something comes, the message is conveyed, this is not real. It is real. But anyway, kevalam vairagya. Shruti also reiterates this for vairagya. Ataha na advaita jnana virodhita iti. Therefore, even statement of trayam vaidam nam rupam karma is not advaita jnana virodhi. It is reiteration, anuvada, of what is taken to be different for us to recognize the non-difference. So, this is how the tattvarya of the Veda is determined here. It was done earlier in a different way. Karma and jnana way it was different. From karma standpoint that was determined. From jnana standpoint now it is being determined. What is the tattvarya of Veda? Okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kratau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरि ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः।